What is up guys, back again with yet another one, and this time I am filming from, well, still from New York. This time I'm in my sister's room, as you can tell by the shoes in the background and some other bags here and there. But it's quiet here and I can essentially get away from all the traffic and all the noise from outside. So here we are filming yet another video. Of course, if you aren't aware of the fact that I'm in New York, well, clearly you've been living under a rock, or maybe you've just not been following my Instagram. So take a second, click the link in the description and go check out my Instagram, follow me so you can be up to date on where I am, what I have going on, and all of that good stuff. However, we're going to be talking about the Lucid Air in this video, and I've made quite a few videos in the past, but I've finally gotten the chance to get my hands on one. So, well, before we actually get into that, if you guys are new here, like the video, because of course that helps the algorithm, helps me work my way so more people can see my content and I can just do better as far as views, as far as subscriptions, and so on and so forth. Again, it just takes a quick second, like the video, it's all free, of course. And without further ado, let's start up the video. I ended up at the Lucid Motors store. So I started off going to the section where I had all the different patterns for the material that's being used in the vehicle, as well as the different colors. Those are the 6 colors available of Lucid Airs. Now, of course, considering the fact that I've been making a lot of videos about the Lucid Air in the past, we know that this is going to be one of the main competitors for one of the more higher end Model S Teslas. So naturally, it's expected this car is going to be high end, price-wise, and just the overall engineering of the vehicle. So the first thing you notice when you step into this car is the fact that there are screens everywhere. So you have one in the center console area, you have one as your display, and so naturally one of the more interesting things that I found was essentially you need buttons to control everything in this vehicle, which has its upsides and it has its downsides. The upside is all you need to do is access the screen where the center console is, and of course search around for what you're looking for. And while it has its upside, I think it also has a downside, because generally speaking, if you want to adjust something quickly on the spur of the moment, it's going to take a bit of time, which takes your eyes off the road, because you're going to have to click around, find whichever setting you're looking for, and then make the change necessary. And also on the downside, if there's any malfunctions in the electronics in this vehicle, you're likely to have almost everything not working. So I can only imagine that the maintenance for this vehicle, and of course the repairs as well, are going to be significantly more expensive than most people would want. So when I stepped into this car, first of all, I was instructed on the 3 different drive modes, namely smooth, swift, and sprint mode. So I started driving on smooth mode, which is one of the more relaxing, calmer, less aggressive modes in this vehicle. In that case, it has significantly regenerative braking, so the second you take your foot off the gas, the car immediately starts to slow down, almost in an exaggerated manner, which it took a little bit of getting used to. It wasn't something that I'm quite used to driving stick shift, because with stick shift, you take your foot off the gas, the car slows down but slowly. And then for automatic cars, if you take your foot off the gas, it kind of still coasts at a pretty similar speed. But in the case of a car like this, it has regenerative braking, meaning the car instantly starts to slow. However though, the ride was amazing, because we started off driving on a cobblestone street, and once we moved from the cobblestone street onto the main road, which of course is smoother, it was almost like driving on a cloud. And I know it sounds like a bit of an exaggeration, but you'd have to experience it to really understand what it was like, and it was actually rather enjoyable. So naturally, me being the car enthusiast that I am, I wanted to try and push this car to, I would say, the car's limit, but also we were on the main road, so I didn't want to take it too far. We mainly spent most of the time in sprint mode. And generally in sprint mode, that's where you have the most aggressive acceleration. The gas pedal is a lot more responsive than on the smooth mode, and it almost feels as if you're driving a race car to an extent. And so one of the things I noticed as I was driving this vehicle in particular was the fact that, similar to the Tesla, it has a really big windshield. So as somebody who's tall, 6'6", it's significantly more difficult for me to be able to see the traffic lights without having to like bend over and like really change my posture, and it kind of gets a little bit uncomfortable after a while. So being able to sit in this car and essentially have my back against the seat and still be able to see the traffic lights without having to like bend over was significantly more convenient. And also, it's pretty interesting because even though it's all glass for almost half the car, you're not really getting too intense of sunlight on you. So on one hand, you're able to get a lot of light coming into the vehicle, but it's not too much to where you have direct sunlight in your eyes. As far as the charging specs, I did touch on this in previous videos, so I won't really talk about the specs. I'm more so talking about the overall drive in this vehicle. So overall, I think this car is actually a great car to drive. Some car companies are really good when it comes to the advertisement and the promo of their vehicles. But when you get into one, it doesn't quite live up to expectations. But I can say in the case of this vehicle, especially considering how much that you would be paying for this vehicle, I'd have to say that it lived up to it pretty well. And especially from the perspective of someone who's 6'6", as tall as I am, it was a rather comfortable drive overall. And you also get a decent amount of luxury in this vehicle as well. And I will touch more on that in another video as far as being 6'6" driving a Lucid, because I think people who are also tall listening to this content might want more insight on what the actual drive is like. So I'll touch that in the next video that I come out with on this Lucid. But for now, that's that for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.